I don't feel like it. Oh, I woke up too late. I'm too tired. I gotta go to bed too early. There's not enough time. I gotta pick up the kids. I have to drop off my husband. I have to cook. I have to clean. Does any of that sound familiar? These are our things that we are doing in our daily lives. But these are also things that we use as an excuse to not have motivation, myself included. That is what we're talking about today. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, stick around. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, Adulting Again. I'm Stephanie G, and I make content that is centered around personal growth so that you can be and feel your best self. So I hope you stick around. The reality is, motivation is not enough. Say it one more time. Motivation is not enough. And here's why. First one, lack of discipline. Motivation, it can pretty much fluctuate, but discipline, that's what keeps you going even when you don't feel motivated. I struggled with discipline for a very, very long time. Honestly, the main time that I had discipline is when I was raising my son. My son is now 26. So for the first 18 years, plus or minus, I was pretty much disciplined because I needed to get him ready for school. I had my own working schedule, and any of his extracurricular activities, those had time frames as well. And being a single mom, I had a lot going on when it came to getting to raising my son. And so I was the most disciplined during that time. Well, fast forward, I have kind of lost some of that discipline along the way. Mainly the older that he got, the more relaxed I got as far as, okay, I know you can get up, you can get yourself up for work. You can get yourself up for school. You can pick out your own clothes. Yes, I had to kind of come behind just to make sure, but at that point I was more along the lines of like delegating more than anything else. Delegating the responsibility or making sure that he was staying responsible and doing the things that he needed to do. Keeping him accountable. We'll get to that in a minute. For myself, I definitely lost some of that discipline. I regained my discipline when I went vegan. I was vegan for 7 years, and that was the most disciplined that I had ever been, especially when I first went vegan. I went alkaline vegan, the Dr. Sebi way. That is a very strict meal plan. I'm going to consider it a meal plan. That is a strict meal plan and guide to an alkaline vegan lifestyle. Very strict. And so for the first 6 to 9 months of me choosing that lifestyle, that's what I went by. Then I went more into the vegan regular lifestyle, and I stayed there again for a total of 6.5 to 7 years. So that is the most disciplined that I had ever been when it came to pretty much anything. Saying no to sweet treats that had dairy or any type of animal product in it. Things like that, you know. So I was very disciplined. I was very disciplined when I stopped smoking. I smoked for 20 years. I have not smoked in 8 years. Woo woo. So there's that. All of these things require discipline. Had I not had that discipline, I would have fell off the wagon many times. I don't want to consider motivation for like a vegan lifestyle or anything like that, but you get what I'm saying. So we want to make sure that we are using discipline to create the routines and the habits so that we can stick to our goals. We're not looking at motivation. Motivation, like, girl, okay, no. The second thing is unrealistic goals. I am guilty of putting all of these, as I've said in many videos before, lofty goals. And that was like for my 2023 goals video. I had all of these lofty goals. How many times I wanted to post on YouTube, post on Instagram, post on TikTok. I haven't even posted on hardly any of these platforms. Here I have posted, but the rest I have not. And that is because I lack discipline. I also lacked a plan. And I did not have, and still am working on planning as well as the strategy to create a system so that I can stick to my goals. So an unrealistic goal, say you're like, oh, I'm gonna walk 20,000 steps a day. However, for 8 hours, you are sedentary at an office job and you are sitting majority of the time, the likelihood of you hitting 20,000 steps after you get off work is very slim to none. But if you changed and you said, you know what, let me pivot that because I'm noticing that I'm barely getting 3,000 steps with that goal. How about you scale it back? And it's nothing wrong with pivoting and scaling back from an unrealistic goal to a realistic goal and saying, okay, how about I go to 5,000 steps? That way it's much more attainable, it's much more achievable, even by you going for a 20 or 30 minute walk, either after work or say after dinner. So going from those unrealistic goals to those realistic goals will definitely help you with staying the course of your goals. The third thing is lack of accountability. Told you I was coming back to that. Girl, if you are not holding yourself accountable, if you are not telling someone and you're kind of keeping all the things to yourself, and I get that, you know, everybody says, oh, don't tell everybody your goals because they'll pretty much bring you down. To the people that will do that, don't tell them nothing. But to the people that will check in with you from time to time and be like, hey, how's that fill in the blank going? Oh, you wanted to become a copywriter. How's everything going with you reading some books on copywriting? Or you wanted to read 30 books in a year. I know you're working on your 30 books in a year project, so I thought that this book would be a good option for you. Something like that. You know, those are the people that you want in your corner. Those are the people that you want to tell your ideas, dreams, and things like that to, and your goals, so that they can help you stay accountable. Me saying, you know, my goals on here is a way for me to stay accountable. And I want you all to check me and say, Stephanie, you said you were going to post every week. You're not really posting every week. I don't even have an excuse, girl. But I am working towards that. Again, I really am. So if you follow me on Instagram and you want to DM me and be like, ma'am, where have you been? As some people do know, because I did get some DMs and some people did ask me like, what's up? So for me, I did go ahead and wound up putting a community post because I didn't think anybody really cared, to be honest. And that's why I did that. But I do see that you all do care and you do wonder where I'm at when I don't post regularly. So I thank you and I love you all so much for the ones that did reach out and check on me. Like, I really do love you all. But that's keeping me accountable. So I appreciate that. I also make sure that I, you know, put my thoughts, my ideas, my goals in multiple places, in my phone, in my notes, in my Notion. I don't really have like a bullet journal, but I am thinking about getting one just so that I can have something else on paper as well. But I make sure that I have these goals placed in certain areas just so that I can remain accountable. Number 4, you're bored. Straight up, you are bored. You are bored with your goals. They just don't vibe the same way that they were when you placed them or where you thought about them in November or December. Now it's March and you're like, I don't really, summer's already coming, so I'm not even gonna work out. 12 weeks, you got 12 weeks from spring to summer. You can make a big change in that time frame. I'm talking to myself. But a change can be made during that time. So we want to make sure that we're not bored with what we set out for what we were going to do. The reality is, say you have the same workout routine, the same split, okay? And your split may be Mondays is glutes and hams, Tuesday is Pilates, Wednesday is back and biceps, Thursday is glutes, Friday is a 12-3-30, and you're consistently doing that over and over and over and over and over again. Honestly, you really should keep a same split, but you can get bored with that. So maybe you change it up and you figure out what exercises that you do enjoy during that split, and just do those exercises and kind of really focus on like your form or whatever have you. And I'm just going into the workout side of that, but that really encompasses any other avenue really, because all of those things really do lead to lack of motivation. Even if you do have the discipline, you're really just bored. Before I get into this last reason, if any of this is resonating with you in any way, let me know by either leaving a comment below or giving me a like. This also lets YouTube know that you like the content that I'm putting out. Again, this is all about personal growth, so that you'll be the best you, I'll be the best me, we'll be the best we. It just lets me also know that you are enjoying this content as much as I'm enjoying putting it out for you. Number 5, lack of results. This is my number 1 reason for losing motivation, and even when I do have the discipline, even when I get sick, I still, as soon as I'm back better, I am back in the gym. It is not seeing the results that has me, I don't want to say defeat. This lack of seeing the results is what makes me say, I'm just going to get some surgery. The reality is, I know I'm not going to do that, but that's what I say out loud. And I know I'm not going to do that. But my goodness, not seeing the scale move is kind of infuriating, although I do know that I shouldn't be looking at the scale, right? I should be looking at the way that I feel, the way that my clothes feel, whether I can go up a flight of steps and not be winded. I actually did a 2x2 step. You know how back in the day, skip a step and go on that step? I did that going to work. And mind you, that's me having my work bag, my 2 laptop bags, as well as my lunch bag. And I still did it. And I was like, okay, girl. You know, it's like little teeny tiny things that I'm trying to use as a measure to whether or not I am becoming more fit. The reality is, if we don't see the results that we're looking for, we will lack motivation to achieve the goal, to continue to work toward the goal. It's just important to adjust your routine or goals if need be, just to ensure that we are progressing. This is for myself as well as to you, just so that we make sure that we are all to the good. Well, that's it. Those are the reasons that motivation sometimes is just not enough. We want to dig a little bit deeper. We want to get to these goals. We want to get to the bag. We want to get to all the things that we have set out for ourselves so that we can achieve them, so that we'll feel better, whether it is health-wise, financially, career, family, friendships, whatever it may be, whatever your goal is, whatever my goal is, these are the things that could be hindering us from achieving those. And we want to make sure that we are hitting all of our goals and achieving and being our best selves. So I hope that you got some inspiration from this video. And if you did, again, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share, subscribe if you feel inclined to. If you hate the video, give it a thumbs down, boo. And I'll definitely see you in the next video. Until then, bye.